Good morning. So today is the week leading up to Canadian Thanksgiving. And well, everyone who's live here today is well acquainted with the Norwood Fair, which was canceled early on in the pandemic. And as the weather changes, I'm so aware of the 15 years previous to this year that I've participated in the fair and in various ways as a volunteer or just going to the fair for fun. And so I'm really feeling that sense of something different this fall. Everything's different this fall, of course. But the Thanksgiving is still coming, and it's still a time to be grateful, no matter what we might be missing or what might be lacking in our lives this year or different from previous years, that there's still always something to be grateful for, and often lots to be grateful for. And when we focus on what we're grateful for, it tends to shift our mood, tends to shift my mood for sure. And I've heard the same from others, and studies actually say the same thing, that when we focus on what we're grateful for, we focus on what's good, what's well, what we're enjoying in our lives, as opposed to focusing on what's problematic, what's not working, what we don't want. So wisdom is that what we focus on expands. So focusing on gratitude helps to expand the good things that are happening. So we'll kind of come back and forth into this idea of gratitude and feeling that gratitude in our minds, in our hearts, and in our bodies today. So we're going to start seated on a chair if you have it handy, or you can sit on the floor if you prefer, either way. But I'm going to go over to my chair here. And so my lights and camera should be able to see me, even though the background is dark. So the last couple of weeks, we worked with a breath technique called Shitali breath, where we breathe in through the tongue with a curled tongue, or along the sides of the teeth, with the tongue at the back of the teeth. So we did the inhale through the mouth that way, raising the head, and then exhaled through the nose, lowering the head. So if you remember that technique, we're going to do that today, but we're going to intersperse that with another breathing technique. So we'll kind of alternate between the two. So Shitali breath is a very cooling, very calming breath for most people. And the other breath that we're going to intersperse with is called Kapalabhati breath, or in English, breath of fire. In fact, if you translate it directly, it means shining skull breath. But we often say breath of fire because it's a very fiery, energetic breath. But the reason that it's called shining skull breath is because it's supposed to make the mind more clear and radiant. So we get that dual benefit of a clearer, sharper mind, as well as a more energized body. But just to balance those two energies, that sort of fiery energy and the cooling energy, we'll do the breath techniques in a alternating kind of way. So the Kapalabhati breath is a breath where we use the abdominal muscles. And on the exhalation, we're going to squeeze the belly back and push the breath out. And this is done through the nose. So you just kind of push the breath out by squeezing the belly. And then when you relax the belly, usually what happens is the breath just comes in, sort of that vacuum pulls the breath in. So it's a kind of a passive inhalation. So it's not this bellows kind of thing, like that's a different kind of breath, but it's just a forceful exhale and a passive inhale. So you can try it with me. If you want, you can bring one hand onto your belly. And just as a caution, if you have any issues with your belly, if you're not feeling so great this morning, if you've had any kind of recent abdominal surgery, you're going to skip this and just do the regular breathing in between. Otherwise, we can try a few times like this together. So we're using the hand on the belly just to bring some awareness there. And then just take a few normal breaths. So you do want to make sure you're inhaling with each time you exhale. So sometimes people sort of keep exhaling and forget to inhale. So give yourself the space and the time to inhale each time you exhale. So let's try that again. Great. So hopefully that makes sense to you. But again, if it feels like a strain or if it feels like it doesn't feel right for you, just breathe normally throughout this whole exercise. Or you can do the Shitali breath the whole time, or intersperse Shitali breath with normal breath. So always really important not to strain with the breath, whatever you're doing. So we'll start and end with Shitali breath, and in between we'll do a few of those breath of fires, and we'll go back and forth a few times. So bringing the head down, we'll inhale through the mouth, through the tongue, lifting the head and then lowering with an exhale through the nose. So again, this is your last breath in this round with Shitali. And then come to neutral spine. So the head is over the shoulders. Again, you can bring your hand to your belly if that helps. And we'll do maybe about 6 breaths with the Kapalabhati breathing. And then coming back to Shitali breath, lowering the head. Inhale through the tongue. Exhale through the nose, lowering the head. This is your last breath with Shitali breath. Coming back to neutral spine, bringing the hand to the belly. And we can do a few more this time if it feels right for you, or whatever number is good. We did 6 last time. Let's try around 10 this time. Great. And a few more rounds of the Shitali breath, lowering the head. Inhale through the tongue. And then lowering the head as you exhale. One more breath on this round of Shitali. And then again, coming to a neutral spine. We'll do one more round of Kapalabhati breath, and maybe up to 12 times. See how your body feels with this. If it feels like too much, stop whenever you need to and breathe normally. Good. And then one more round of Shitali, bringing the head down. And if you want, you can add cat-cow this time. So as you inhale, adding a little more arch to the back, more extension. Exhale, lowering the head and rounding. One more breath on this round. And then returning again to a neutral spine. Pausing there to find the support of your spine. So you're not kind of slumping back on the chair or rounding the back if you're sitting on the ground and slumping forward, but really feeling your sit bones on the ground or the chair, lengthening up through your spine, and a slight drop through the chin to create a feeling of length in the excuse me, in the back of your neck. And then let's take the arms out to the sides. Take a big breath in, reaching up overhead. And then as you exhale, slowly lowering the hands into the space in front of your heart. And take a moment here to connect with what you're grateful for today as we move into the week leading up to Thanksgiving. So much different in our world right now. What can we connect with that we're grateful for? There may be several things or one thing that really stands out for you. So I invite you to really connect with this feeling of gratitude as you come into presence with what feels really grateful to you today. One of the things that I'm always grateful for is the teachings of yoga that allow me to do this work, passing on the teachings. And I have many teachers who have contributed to my learning. And I'm so grateful for that learning, for the practice of yoga, for the teachers who have supported me along the way, and for all of my students who also teach me so very much. So as you continue to connect with your own sense of gratitude, I'd like to share with you a chant that we often do at the beginning of a class to honor our teachers and offer gratitude for the teachings. Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvin Avati Tamastu Mahvidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And next breath in, we'll take the arms and reach them up. And a big exhale as if we're surrounding ourselves with a good feeling of gratitude. And let's do that a couple more times. Hands coming together at the heart, lifting and creating a sense of space of gratitude around us. Okay, finish this round and bringing the hands back together at the heart. And pressing the palms together, reach the heels of the hands down, putting a little pressure onto the hands to feel the arms activate. You can take the heels of the hands away from each other and keep the fingers close together to stretch the fingers a little bit. And then make the hands into fists and circle your fists around. You can also try this with your thumbs tucked in, which will stretch along the side of the thumbs a little bit more. See how that feels? And give your hands a shake. Great. And then make your hands into fists and turn the fists down and bring your hands near your shoulders. Shoulders down, and we're going to push the hands away, reaching out to the side, and then making fists, turning the hands down and drawing in. So pushing out. Big breath in, exhale, drawing in. Inhale, pushing. Exhale, drawing in. Again. I'm going to leave the hands out to the sides this time, and you can lower the shoulders, bend the arms if this is any kind of strain for the shoulders and arms, and we'll make little circles here. You can try it with the fingers pointing up, and then fists pointing down, and then give them a shake. I'll let the arms come down. You can shake right from the shoulders. And then letting the arms hang down by your sides, you can close your eyes for a moment and notice any feelings or sensations in your arms. As we wake up the energy, simply noticing what you're aware of. And then we'll lift the arms straight up in front, breathing in. Let the hands be really relaxed. You just kind of hang there at the end of your arms. And then as you exhale, hinge forward from your hips, bring your hands to your thighs, and come forward in a forward bend. Inhale to lift. Again, hands just relax. Exhale into that forward fold. Hit a couple more at your own pace. And then we're going to stay upright this time and add a twist. So your arms will come up. You'll bring both hands to one side, turning to that side, looking over your shoulder. And then inhale, center. Exhale, turn to the other side. Use your core muscles to help you twist, not so much the pressure of leverage against your body or the chair or the ground. So your hands are coming to either side, but you're not forcing or pushing that twist. You're using your core strength to create that movement. And then let's come back to the center and do a few more straightforward. Exhaling into that forward bend. You can bend forward as much as feels right for you. So it could be chest coming all the way to the thighs or just a little bit forward, depending on what feels good for you. Great. And then let's come back upright and move back a little bit so you can see a bit more of what's going on now. So now, raising the arms up with a breath in, as you exhale, bring one knee in and let your body roll back a little, sitting up. As you breathe in, exhale, the other knee comes in. So you're inhaling, extending, exhaling, drawing in. Great, and then let's bring the hands down and separate your feet a little wider. And if you're sitting cross-legged, you can do this just with your legs crossed, sitting with your hands on your knees. We'll do a few circles for the torso. Getting into a feeling of the sides of the waist stretching a little, maybe the lower back, getting a little more movement. At some point, switch directions and go the other way. And bring it back to center. Right. And bring the knees back in. And now, if you're sitting on a chair, you can bring one hand onto the chair, or if you're sitting on the floor, you might take your hand down to the floor beside you. So here we'll take the opposite arm, lift it up. Big breath in, feel both sit bones anchor to your seat, wherever it is, the ground or your chair, and then reach over with an exhale. As you come up and inhale each time, you could lower the arm. Exhale as you go to the side. And then coming back to the center, we'll switch sides. So reaching up, nice and tall, feel both sit bones. And then with your next exhale, reaching to the side, inhale, lifting to the center. Right, and then coming back up, releasing that arm down, hands onto the knees or the thighs, and we'll work again with that cat-cow movement. Inhale, extending, exhale, rounding or flexing the spine. If you find your mind wandering, come back to what you're grateful for. Try not to create a big story or get caught up in how wonderful it is, and really just connecting with the feeling of gratitude. For me, when I feel grateful, there's a kind of a lightness and expansion as opposed to stress, which is a contraction and a heaviness. And a couple more breaths here. And then let's come back to a neutral spine again. So now taking the chin and lowering it down towards the front of the chest, feel some extension or stretch in the back of the neck. And start to take the head a little bit, chin moving toward one collarbone, chin moving to the other, so the head is swinging slowly side to side. And you can make that movement a little bit bigger each time. So coming up a little more to the side, on each side each time, until you're doing a full half circle. You're coming all the way up to the side and then releasing back to the other side. And then eventually bringing the head back to center. So find a feeling of lift through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, let your head tilt to one side. You can let the other arm hang down to create a little more stretch on that side. Another option here for a slightly different stretch is to take your hand, turning the palm to face behind you, bringing that hand to rest on your lower back, and then taking the chin slightly down towards the collarbone on the opposite side. So if that feels like too much or awkward stretch, just release the arm again. And then we'll come back to the center and taking the ear down towards the opposite shoulder again. The other arm could hang down to the side. If you want a little different stretch, let the chin come down a little. Take the arm behind the back Just really honor your shoulder. If it feels like it's pulling in a way that's uncomfortable, just leave the arm forward or down to the side. Great, and then slowly coming back to the center, turning the head all the way to one side and then sweeping the chin again across the front of the chest. If you like, you can turn this into a full circle or the half circle that we did earlier. When you're circling, always make sure that you're not letting the head fall back behind your shoulders. So the circle is just coming around as if you're drawing a circle with your nose in front of you. If you're circling, you can go the other way a few times as well. Right, and back to the center. So we'll come to stand up. And coming to that mountain posture with the feet about hip distance apart. Dropping down into your heels. And let's come back to our theme of gratitude today. Taking the hands to the sides as you inhale, reaching up overhead. And exhale, hands coming down in front of the heart, releasing. So like we're inviting more of that good, grateful feeling into our hearts. Placing whatever stress, tension, or worry we may be holding on to, whether we're aware of it or not. Right, and then bringing the hands back to the heart, and we'll reverse that movement. So lifting the gratitude from our heart and sending it out like it could surround and support us. We'll add a forward bend here, so lifting up, and then as you exhale, bend your knees, let your body come forward any amount, let your head release, and then lifting up like we're gathering, again, that beautiful energy and bringing it back to the heart. So again, lifting, big circle, let your head release. Inhale, come all the way up, bringing the palms together overhead and down to the heart. Again. We're going to add on this time a half forward bend. So I'll demonstrate from the side so you can see. The idea in the half forward bend is we're coming from a full forward bend to an extended position. So the hands will come to the knees and like the cow of the cat-cow, and then you'll come forward again. And then lift up. So we can try that together. So inhale, reaching up, bringing the palms together. Exhale, coming forward. You can reach down as far as you're comfortable reaching. And then soft knees, hands to the thighs. Find that arch, heart lifting. Exhale, fold forward again. Let your head release again. And then inhale, lift all the way up like you're gathering that good energy and bringing it back into the heart. So we'll do that again. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, big circle, releasing. Inhale, arching. Exhale, releasing again. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale back to the heart. So we're going to add another option in here, and that's as you come into that half forward bend, that lifted position. If you want to work a little more on strengthening the lower back and it doesn't feel like a strain to you, you can lift with your arms to the sides instead of supporting against the knees. So either way, so taking a breath in, reaching up, hands come together, exhale, coming forward. Inhale, arching either hands to knees or out to the side. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting all the way up, gathering that beautiful gratitude, grateful energy back to the heart. Again. Make sure you're not cranking your head back as you come into that half forward bend, and really let it release when you come forward again. Hands back to the heart. We'll do this one more time. This time, the option to stay in that lifted position. So here, a little arch, my lower back is feeling the little bit of effort. If it's too much, always optional to bring the hands onto the thighs. Shoulders keep moving back, crown moving away from the tail. When you're ready, exhale, release forward. You might bring your elbows onto your thighs, let your head come down. It could be reaching down toward the ground as well. And take a few breaths here, allowing the spine to lengthen and release. And then coming all the way up, breathing in, bringing the hands together overhead, exhale, and coming back to the heart. Great, releasing the hands down. We're going to make our way down to the ground. So if you're comfortable on all fours, you can come to all fours. If not, then you might just make your way onto your belly or to child's pose. So we'll come up with the breath in, reaching the hands together, exhale, folding forward, bringing the hands down. And then again, if you're comfortable to come to all fours, and this is going to really depend on your knees and wrists, you can go there. We're going to come right down onto our bellies in a moment. So if that's better for you, you can come there, or child's pose. You can try a few rounds of cat-cow here. Great. Now, to come down to the belly from here, you can certainly get down there any way that you like. One way that you might want to follow me is to get the hands a little ahead of your shoulders, so that as you come forward, the shoulders line up more or less over the wrists, and then you'll bend your elbows and kind of roll your body down. So your thighs, hips, belly, chest, and forehead come to the ground. And then make any little adjustments you need to be comfortable here. You'll slide the hands forward so that the elbows rest on the ground. Your hands are on either side of your face, and there should be now no pressure on your wrists at all. And just check in that you're comfortable, that you can breathe here without feeling too restricted. It's a little restricted by the position, but you don't want to feel like you're straining at all. And if this is not comfortable for you, you might come back to child's pose, bringing the hips back toward the heels and letting the head come toward the ground. If you're comfortable here, we're going to gently engage the buttocks, the hips, the thighs, and press down with the legs and the hips. And then from there, just a little movement. Inhale, lifting the head and chest. Exhale, lowering down. So we're working on strengthening the core through the lower back. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, lower. So it's not a big movement, and there's no pressure on your hands or arms. Letting your core do the work through the lower back, lifting. Exhale, lowering. Yeah, you can keep doing a few more dynamically like this, or if you're feeling stronger today and want to work a little bit more on that core strength, you can lift up and stay for a few breaths. And if you still want to work more, take your arms and lift them. Remember, the crown of the head is reaching from the tail, back of the neck is long, and you're breathing. Great. When you're ready, release, slowly lower down. You can bring your head onto your hands if you like. Turn your toes in, let your feet, your heels fall away from each other, and take a few breaths here, just relaxing the whole back of the body, breathing into the lower back now if you can. You can stay here a few more breaths if you're comfortable. Our next move is to roll over onto the back, so you can turn over anytime. Just roll right over where you are. And come on down onto your mat on your back. Back in the ground on your inhale, belly expands, and as you exhale, you press down back. So it's a little bit of a rocking motion through the hips. Inhale, belly on the ground, whatever you find more. And then if you want to add a little bit second or two before you inhale, you'll inhale, and then exhale, breath out again, as long as that doesn't create a strain for you. And then let your breath come.
Hear you, Caroline.
That's, I'm hearing that you can't hear me, and I'm seeing that it's, I can see why.
Verbally sounding.
Is that better?
I think so.
Okay, I think it had switched to the computer from the AirPods, so I think that should be better. Now that I'm away from the computer, can you still hear me okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you can bring your knees up into your chest now. Exhaling in. And then try making your knees. Maybe rock a little side to side.
sound.
Okay, I'm not sure what's going on with the sound.
Now I can hear you, but over there I couldn't hear you at all.
That's weird because the sound says it's coming from here, so it shouldn't make a difference if I'm closer or not. All right, I'll be more here just because I'm not sure what's going on. But what you're going to do is one knee in, the other leg straight, and then you're going to use your core. Let me try this again so I can demonstrate. Use your core. Lower down. Certainly bend that knee. Bring it in. Stretch it out. Do a few more like that on that side. And then you can stretch both legs out. Stretch both arms overhead and take a big stretch through both legs, both arms. And then bring both knees into your chest again, rock a little side to side or circle the knees around. And then you'll keep the other knee into your chest and stretch the opposite leg out. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to engage the core, bring your lower back to the ground. You've got one knee in, one leg straight, and then you'll lift slowly and lower the straight leg. And again, it could bend as it comes in. You could lift just a little. You could lift all the way to see what feels right for you. And then when you've done 4 or 5 on that side, or a roughly even number with the other side, stretch the arms up. Out to the sides now, away from the body. And we're going to work with the twist, but we're going to work with the twist in a way that we only move on the exhalation. And I hope it sounds okay now. I shifted something in the system, so hopefully you can hear me, but do let me know if not. So we're going to exhale as we go to the side with the twist, as we always do. And we're going to stay there and breathe in. And then as you come back, you're going to exhale back to center, press your feet into the ground, engage your core, and feel your lower back really melt into the ground. You'll inhale here and relax the lower back, relax the belly, and then you'll exhale to go the other way. Keep flattening the lower back, engaging the core, and then you'll inhale to relax. Exhale as you go to the side. Stay there as you inhale. Exhale as you come to the center, flattening through the core. Inhale here in the center. Exhale. Back to the center. So the core as well. Take a breath in and center. Exhale. And continue a few more like that at your own pace. If you remember which side you started on, you can finish by going to the other side to even things out. But if you don't remember which side you started on, let's come back to center after the next one. And come back to center this time. And bring back down the way that the mind was. Forward and back a few times. Towards you. Back.
Can't hear you at all, Klein. Always fine when you're close, but you break up all the time, especially when you're lying on the ground. It just goes totally.
Okay. Well, I will. I'll stay close and try and figure out what's going on. Thanks for letting me know. All right. So we're going to move into Shavasana. So getting yourself comfortable. Making whatever little minor adjustments you need to be as comfortable as possible. And coming back to your breath, back to the feeling of gratitude. Now, as if you're breathing in a feeling of fullness, of gratitude. And as you breathe out, let your body soften, let it relax, let the ground support you. And then you're breathing in, filling yourself with that wonderful feeling of gratitude, and exhaling, softening, sinking down and letting go. And just let the breath be normal. Just let go of any need to control the breath in any way. And have a sense of softening around the face, the eyes, the jaw. Let the surfaces of your teeth move slightly apart so there's no tension in the jaw at all. Let the weight of your head sink down into the earth. And allow the muscles of your neck to soften and release. shoulders drop down. Let whatever burdens you've been carrying slide off your shoulders into the earth as you exhale. The arms and the hands release. And as you exhale, let the arms drop a little more. And bring your awareness to the area around the center of the chest, at the heart center. And feel the movement of your lungs as you breathe. And as you exhale, soften, let go, and drop down. And let your attention move down into the area of your belly. And breathing with an awareness of any movement in the belly that you're aware of. Softening with each exhalation. And then bringing your awareness down to the hips and pelvis as you exhale. Feel a sense of dropping into the hips, into the pelvis. Softening the muscles all around the front, the back, and the sides of the hips. Relaxing down through the legs. Feel your thighs release. Softening and letting go through the knees. Relaxing down through the calves, the shins, the ankles, and the feet. Feel your whole body release, soften, and let go a little bit as you exhale and drop down. And with each inhale, imagine you're drawing in the energy, the feeling of gratitude. It may be for something specific or just that feeling of being grateful. Breathing it in to every cell, finger, toes, to the crown of your head, drawing in the feeling of gratitude. And as you exhale, letting go, softening, sinking down. As you continue to release and connect with gratitude, I'll share again the chant that I did at the beginning that honors the teachings, the teachers, our own inner guidance and teacher. And it invites us to make friends with ourselves, make friends with all of the teachings, the teachers. And we could expand that to all of our connections, because everybody that we encounter is some kind of teacher in some way or another for us, some kind of guide. Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvin Avadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. As you're ready, start to deepen your breath a little bit. Maybe making the intention or commitment to look for gratitude throughout the day, finding gratitude in all of the little things that you encounter, filling your heart with that good feeling. And as you deepen your breath, gradually feel inspired to move. You can start with your fingers and your toes, moving and stretching in any way that would feel good to you. And then eventually, if you're ready, you can roll onto your side. And if you prefer to stay a little longer in Shavasana, that's totally fine too. If you're ready to move on with your day, roll onto your side, pause there for a moment, and then take your time to come back upright. And then once you're upright, if you've chosen that path, you can bring your hands back to the heart. And we'll take a breath in, reaching up. Exhale, creating that space of gratitude around yourself, and then hands back to the heart. And again, I encourage you to stay with this theme and find even the littlest things to be grateful for as you move through your day, your week, as we head towards our celebration of thanks and Thanksgiving this weekend. Namaste.